Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Naresh Mago and with me is Rupinder Kaur with the Midday News. The headlines. Olympic champion Neeraj Chopra scripts history by becoming first Indian to win silver medal at World Athletics Championships. Grabs second position in men's javelin throw final with career best throw of 88.13 meters this morning. Draupadi Murmu to take oath as 15th President of India in Central Hall of Parliament tomorrow. Outgoing President Ramnath Kovind to address the nation this evening. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh honours families of security personnel who lost their lives in the line of duty since 1947. Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurates and lays foundation stones of several development projects worth 210 crore rupees in Gandhinagar. WHO declares monkeypox as a global health emergency amid rising cases. Delhi reports first case of monkeypox. Patient with no travel history is the country's fourth case. Income Tax Day being observed today, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman appreciates Income Tax Department for implementing various reforms. And in cricket, India to square off against West Indies in second ODI at Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain this evening. Tokyo Olympic gold medalist Neeraj Chopra created history today by winning the silver medal in the men's javelin throw event at World Athletics Championships. In the prestigious competition held at Eugene in Oregon State of the United States, the champ grabbed the second position with his best throw of 88.13 meters this morning.
82 meters, 86 meters. He needed something to try and get himself in a podium position. He knew that was good as soon as he released it. That is in a silver medal position with 88.09. Not anymore, 88.13.
Grenadian javelin thrower Anderson Peters won the gold medal with a throw of 90.54 meters. Neeraj Chopra is the first ever Indian to win a silver medal at World Athletics Championships. He is the second Indian after former long jumper Anju Bobby George, who won a bronze medal in long jump at 2003 in Paris. Interacting with the media after winning the silver medal, Neeraj Chopra said that he is satisfied with the result, adding that he is happy to win a medal for the country.
काफी अच्छा कंपटीशन था और पीटर्स ने काफी अच्छी थ्रो लगाई आज 3 थ्रो ओवर 90 मीटर की थ्रो थी और हाँ मेरे लिए आज थोड़ा सा कंडीशन थी जो थोड़ी डिफरेंट थी और डिफिकल्ट थी पर जो वो थ्रो थी अच्छा लगा था मुझे अच्छा फील हुआ था तो मुझे लग रहा था कि हाँ और अच्छी थ्रो है पर सिल्वर मेडल की थ्रो थी और सेटिस्फाई है जो भी रिजल्ट है उससे काफी टाइम बाद अपने इंडिया का मेडल आया है तो इसकी जीत खुशी है वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में.
Neeraj said that he will try to do better at the World Championships next year. President Ramnath Kovind, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur have congratulated Neeraj Chopra on this feat. President Kovind in his message said, Neeraj continues to bring laurels and make the country proud. In a tweet, Prime Minister Modi said, it is a great accomplishment by one of our most distinguished athletes. He said this is a special moment for Indian sports. Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur in a message has lauded Neeraj Chopra, saying he continues his winning streak and becomes the first Indian male and the second Indian to win a medal at the World Championships. Law and Justice Minister Kiran Rijiju also congratulated Neeraj for creating history. In a tweet, Mr. Rijiju said, Neeraj Chopra is a true champion who delivers the best shots when it desperately matters, like all greatest champions do in biggest platforms, Olympics and World Championships. President-elect Draupadi Murmu will be sworn in as the 15th President of India in the Central Hall of Parliament at 10:15 a.m. tomorrow. The outgoing President Ramnath Kovind and the President-elect Draupadi Murmu will arrive in the Central Hall in a ceremonial procession. The President-elect Draupadi Murmu will take the oath of office in the presence of Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramanna, followed by a 21-gun salute. The President will then deliver an address. On the conclusion of the ceremony in the Central Hall, the President will leave for Rashtrapati Bhavan, where an inter-services guard of honor will be given to her in the forecourt and courtesies will be extended to the outgoing President Ramnath Kovind. Chairman of Rajya Sabha M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, Union Ministers, Governors, Chief Ministers, Heads of Diplomatic Missions, Members of Parliament, and principal civil and military officers of the Government of India will assemble in the Central Hall for the swearing-in ceremony. In view of the swearing-in ceremony, Department of Personnel and Training has issued an order directing partial closure of certain central government offices in the vicinity of the Parliament House. The construction work of the new Parliament building also needs to be kept on hold during the time of the ceremony. As per the order, a total of 30 offices and buildings are required to be vacated by 6 a.m. tomorrow for carrying out an anti-sabotage check. This exercise will continue till the ceremony is over. The buildings that will be vacated early include South Block, North Block, Rail Bhavan, Krishi Bhavan, Shastri Bhavan, Sanchar Bhavan, Akashvani Bhavan, Sena Bhavan, Vayu Bhavan, Udyog Bhavan, Nirman Bhavan, and PTI building, among others. These buildings will remain closed from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Outgoing President Ramnath Kovind will address the nation this evening. The address will be broadcast from 7 p.m. on the entire network of All India Radio and telecast on all channels of Doordarshan in Hindi, followed by the English version. All India Radio will broadcast regional language versions of the address from 9:30 p.m. on its regional networks. Broadcast of the address in Hindi and English on Doordarshan will be followed by broadcast in regional languages by regional channels of Doordarshan. Members of Parliament gave farewell to the outgoing President at a function held at the Central Hall of Parliament yesterday. In his address at the function, President Kovind called upon the political parties to rise above a partisan approach and think about the work needed for the development and welfare of the people of the country with the spirit of nation first.
हम सब संसद रूपी परिवार के सदस्य हैं, जिनकी सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता है राष्ट्र रूपी विशाल संयुक्त परिवार के हित में निरंतर कार्य करते रहना। राजनीतिक प्रक्रियाएं राजनीतिक दलों के अपने तंत्रों के माध्यम से संचालित होती हैं, लेकिन पार्टियों को दलगत राजनीति से ऊपर उठना चाहिए और राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि की भावना से ये विचार करना चाहिए कि देशवासियों के विकास और कल्याण के लिए कौन कौन से कार्य आवश्यक हैं।
The President said as the basic necessities are taken care of, aspirations are changing too, and the dreams of average Indians have got wings now. He said this has been made possible by good governance, which by definition is without any kind of discrimination. Mr. Kovind said this all-round progress is in tune with what Baba Saheb Ambedkar's vision. President Kovind expressed his gratitude towards the parliamentarians, saying that it would not have been possible for him to discharge his responsibilities without their support. Speaking on the occasion, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla said that during his 5-year tenure, President Kovind elevated the stature and dignity of this highest office. The Lok Sabha Speaker said that exemplary work like following the principles of Indian Constitution, Mr. Ramnath Kovind's commitment to political fairness and making Rashtrapati Bhavan accessible to common citizens will always inspire generations to come.
भारत गणराज्य के राष्ट्रपति के रूप में 5 वर्ष के कार्यकाल के दौरान आपने इस सर्वोच्च पद की गरिमा और शालीनता को नव उत्कर्ष प्रदान किया है। इसके लिए हम सब हृदय से आपका आभार प्रकट करते हैं।
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Ministers and Members of Parliament from both the houses were present on this occasion. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today said the whole world listens very carefully to India and assured the countrymen that nobody can dare to breach our borders. Mr. Singh was speaking at an event held at Gulshan Ground in Jammu this morning. At the function, the minister also honoured 1,500 to 2,000 families of all martyrs of Army, paramilitary forces and Jammu and Kashmir Police who lost their lives in line of duty since 1947. Mr. Singh said our great freedom fighters sacrificed their lives for the country. He said today is the right occasion to pay tributes to all those who have made supreme sacrifice for the nation.
इसी राष्ट्रीय स्वाभिमान की प्रखर भावना के कारण ही हमारा यह भारत आजाद हुआ है और इसी राष्ट्रीय स्वाभिमान की प्रखर भावना के कारण ही आज हमारे देश की एकता, अखंडता और संप्रभुता सुरक्षित है। भारत की एकता, अखंडता और संप्रभुता को बनाए रखने में हमारे सेना के जवानों ने जो योगदान दिया है बहनों भाइयों, भारत उसे कभी भूल नहीं सकता। और जिन भी हमारे जवानों ने अपनी शहादत दी है भारत की एकता, अखंडता और संप्रभुता को बचाए रखने के लिए, मैं उन सारे शहीदों की स्मृति में शीश झुकाकर नमन करता हूं।
The defense minister bowed to the security forces who gave up their lives for maintaining the sovereignty of the country. He said India can never forget the 1962 war against China. He reiterated that today India is one of the strongest countries in the world and security forces have proved their mettle many a time. Speaking on Indo-China standoff, Mr. Singh said, India is a strong force and present government under Prime Minister Modi is trying hard to make it even stronger. He said the Prime Minister has always stressed on making weapons indigenously. The Defence Minister will also pay tribute to Kargil martyrs in connection with Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, besides celebrating Kargil Victory Day. Mr. Singh is also scheduled to hold a special meeting with a select gathering of J&K BJP leaders at the party office in Trikuta Nagar to take stock of the preparations of the party for ensuing assembly elections. He will also be briefed about the J&K situation and other related affairs and political developments.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurated and laid the foundation stones for various people-centric development projects worth 210 crore rupees at Bhopal in his parliamentary constituency Gandhinagar in Gujarat today. Addressing the gathering, Mr. Shah appealed to each and every household to unfurl the national flag during the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign and inculcate the spirit of national pride among the younger generations. He said when the country is celebrating 75 years of independence, it is time to remember the freedom fighters who devoted their lives for independence. The minister said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has ensured the holistic development of Gujarat. He also said that Ahmedabad and Sabarmati railway station will be redeveloped within the next 5 years. The minister also inaugurated the sports complex in Maninagar, which has been built at a cost of 10 crore rupees. Apart from this, Mr. Amit Shah also laid the foundation stone for various infrastructure projects in Ahmedabad. Mr. Shah, who was on a 2-day visit to Gujarat, also inaugurated the birth centenary celebrations of Pramukh Swami Maharaj in Ahmedabad.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Olympic champion Neeraj Chopra scripts history by becoming first Indian to win silver medal at World Athletics Championships. Grabs second position in men's javelin throw final with career best throw of 88.13 meters this morning. Draupadi Murmu to take oath as 15th President of India in Central Hall of Parliament tomorrow. Outgoing President Ramnath Kovind to address the nation this evening. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh honours families of security personnel who lost their lives in line of duty since 1947. Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurates and lays foundation stone of several development projects worth 210 crore rupees in Gandhinagar. WHO declares monkeypox as global health emergency amid rising cases. Delhi reports first case of monkeypox. Patient with no travel history is country's fourth case. Income Tax Day being observed today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman appreciates Income Tax Department for implementing various reforms. And in cricket, India to square off against West Indies in second ODI at Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
क्या आप वरिष्ठ नागरिक हैं? क्या आपके मन में सेहत, आर्थिक, सामाजिक या भावनात्मक मुद्दों से जुड़ा कोई सवाल है? आकाशवाणी आपके लिए लेकर आया है कार्यक्रम एक कदम और बुजुर्गों के लिए हर रविवार रात 9:30 बजे FM गोल्ड पर। आप अपने सवाल हमें WhatsApp नंबर 9289094044 पर भेज सकते हैं या इस पते पर ईमेल कर सकते हैं एक कदम और airnews@gmail.com।
The World Health Organization WHO has declared the outbreak of monkeypox as a global health emergency. It came at the end of the second meeting of the WHO's Emergency Committee on the virus. The classification is the highest alert that the WHO can issue and follows a worldwide upsurge in cases. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said more than 16,000 cases have now been reported from 75 countries. There have been 5 deaths so far as a result of the outbreak. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry today said a 34-year-old male resident of Delhi was isolated at Lok Nayak Hospital as a suspected case of monkeypox. He said the National Institute of Virology in Pune has confirmed the diagnosis. The patient is presently recovering at the designated isolation center. This patient, with no travel history, is the 4th case of monkeypox in the country. The close contacts of the case have been identified and are under quarantine as per the Health Ministry's guidelines. Further public health interventions like identification of the source of infection, enhanced contact tracing, and testing sensitization of private practitioners are being carried out. Director General of Health Services will hold a high-level review meeting at 3 p.m. today. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal today in a tweet said there is no need to panic and the situation is under control.
Over 201 crore 99 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said over 28 lakh 83,000 doses were administered yesterday. Over 20,000 new cases were recorded in the last 24 hours. Over 18,000 people recovered in the same period. The recovery rate is currently at 98.45%. The Uttar Pradesh government transferred the Superintendent of Police SP of Hathras district today. The action was taken after death of 6 Kawadiyas in the district yesterday. The SP has been transferred to 39 Battalion of Provincial Armed Constabulary of Mirzapur. Devesh Kumar Pandey will be the new SP of Hathras district. Yesterday, a truck mowed down 6 Kawadiyas in the district. 5 of them died on spot while 1 more succumbed to the injuries in the hospital.
Today is Aykar Divas, also known as the Income Tax Day. It was introduced in 2010 to commemorate 150 years of income tax in India. Income tax was first levied as a duty in the year 1860 and the authority to levy income tax came into force on 24th July that year. The day is celebrated with several outreach programs and events to promote the payment of taxes and educate potential taxpayers that payment of taxes is the duty of citizens. By paying taxes on time, people contribute to the country's progress. The Income Tax Department has expressed gratitude to all taxpayers for their unstinted support and trust. In a message on the Income Tax Day, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman appreciated the department for implementing various reforms. She complimented the taxpayers for vindicating the government's trust-based approach. The government has amended the Flag Code of India to allow the tricolour to be displayed in the open and on individual houses or buildings through day and night. The provision earlier allowed the flag, when displayed in the open, to be flown from sunrise to sunset as far as possible. The move comes ahead of the 75th anniversary of Indian independence. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called upon people to hoist the tricolour or display it in their homes between the 13th and 15th of August. Mr. Modi said this Har Ghar Tiranga movement will deepen our connect with the national flag as the nation is marking the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav this year.
अब हर घर की छत पर शान से फहरेगा तिरंगा, गुनगुनाए जाएंगे नव विकास के गीत, आन बान शान का प्रतीक राष्ट्रध्वज तिरंगा। आइए आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर इस स्वाधीनता दिवस हर घर फहराते हैं तिरंगा और लेते हैं भव्य और सशक्त भारत के निर्माण का संकल्प।
आइए हर घर फहराएं तिरंगा।
Now let's listen to a special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव। Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
आमी मुले कशाला बंदीत माय भूही आमी खुले कशाला.
In today's episode, we remember freedom fighter Anna Patrave. Anna was a resident of Satara, Maharashtra. Noticing the spreading of the Quit India movement in Satara, the British police launched a full-fledged campaign against the people who participated in it. They arrested a number of demonstrators, including Anna Patrave, and kept them in Sangli Central Jail.
On the 24th of July 1943, Anna Patrave, along with others, made a daring attempt at escaping from the jail. But hearing about the escape bid, the Sangli State Police followed them, and in the encounter, Anna Patrave was shot dead on the 24th of July 1943. AIR News salutes the brave son of the soil.
We also remember renowned flautist and nationalist Pandit Pannalal Ghosh, who was born on the 24th of July 1911 in Barisal, now in Bangladesh. During his young days at Barisal, Pannalal was active in the freedom struggle, and in the formative phase of his career, he also came under the influence of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore and Qazi Nazrul Islam, who helped instill nationalistic outlook in him.
In 1928, Ghosh joined a gymnasium and learned martial arts, boxing and stick fighting to fight against the British. As he became more involved in the independence movement, the British authorities started keeping a close watch on him. He had to flee to Kolkata. His childhood friend and brother-in-law, Anil Biswas, also came to Kolkata.
In Kolkata, Pannalal utilized his musical skills and assisted in music production. In 1940, he moved to Bombay to further expand his music career. He joined the Bombay Talkies Film Studio and gave music to quite a few popular films. A disciple of Alauddin Khan, Pannalal is credited with popularizing the flute as a concert instrument in Hindustani classical music and also the pioneer of Indian classical flute.
The true patriot that he was, Pannalal Ghosh gave stirring compositions and flute playback for the nationalistic film Andolan in 1951. The movie has actual footage of India's freedom struggle. Speeches and talks of Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, and many others are included in the narrative of this film.
Ghosh's music represents a unique confluence of technique and expertise, which are the characteristics of the Beenkar tradition. Pannalal Ghosh was the conductor of All India Radio's Vadya Vrinda Orchestra from 1956 till his demise in 1960 when he was only 48. In these creative years, he produced many compositions like Kalinga Vijaya and Rituraj.
Pandit Pannalal Ghosh's legacy continues with his many disciples. We salute the great nationalist and music exponent.
We pay tribute to the freedom fighter Konda Venkata Ranga Reddy, who died on the 24th of July, 1970. Popularly known as K.V. Ranga Reddy, he was born on the 12th of December 1890 and fought against the Razakars of Nizam of Hyderabad. After the integration of Hyderabad in India, Reddy served as the Minister of Revenue in 1959 and served as the first Deputy Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh from 1959 to 1962.
K.V. Ranga Reddy participated in the Telangana movement and is known for his forthright speech at Siddhyambar Bazar, which ended with his words, "Ghulam ki zindagi se maut achhi." Reddy founded the educational institution AV College.
K.D. Ranga Reddy continued to work for the betterment of people till his death in 1970. AIR News salutes the great nationalist.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
As a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with the listeners in the morning bulletin tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address a program marking the 10th death anniversary of Harmohan Singh Yadav through video conferencing tomorrow. Harmohan Singh Yadav was a towering figure and leader of the Yadav community. Prime Minister's participation in the program is in recognition of the contribution of the late leader for farmers, backward classes and other sections of the society.
Indian high jumper Tejaswin Shankar has been finally cleared to compete at the upcoming Commonwealth Games, which begin at Birmingham in the United Kingdom on Thursday. Tejaswin Shankar, who holds the high jump national record, received the green light to compete at the prestigious sports event after a meeting of the chef de missions took place at the Athletes' Village in Birmingham. Tejaswin Shankar will travel to Birmingham in place of the injured runner Arokia Rajiv. Tejaswin's name was suggested as a replacement for quarter-miler Arokia, who withdrew from the National Interstate Athletics Championships due to an illness.
Listen to Commonwealth Games quiz with AIR News Sportscan at 7:20 p.m. every day. All you have to do is reply to a question on the Commonwealth Games. Email your answers at airsportscan@gmail.com. The first correct answer will be selected as the winner and rewarded with a jersey of the Indian Commonwealth Games team. So keep cheering to India, listening to Sportscan at 7:20 p.m. on FM Gold 100.1 MHz and on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official.
In cricket, Shikhar Dhawan-led Team India will square off against the West Indies in the second one-day international ODI of the three-match series at Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain today. The match will begin at 7 p.m. India time. The visitors are already up 1-0 in the three-match series, winning the nerve-wracking first match by 3 runs on Friday.
In Iran, at least 22 people were killed in flash floods caused by heavy rains in southern province of Fars. The head of the province's crisis management department said one person was missing. He said 55 people had been rescued in the flood, which submerged 15 cars. In United States, over 11,900 acres of land burnt, while 3,000 people were evacuated due to wildfire near Yosemite National Park in California. A state of emergency has been declared in Mariposa County of California as the wildfire continues to rapidly spread. Firefighters are struggling to control it.
Now let us have a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Mumbai is expected to have a partly cloudy sky with light rain. Jammu will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Leh will have a generally cloudy sky, while Gilgit and Muzaffarabad will have cloudy skies with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. In the northeast, Guwahati, Kohima, Imphal, Aizawl, Agartala, Gangtok, Itanagar and Shillong will have generally cloudy skies with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Olympic champion Neeraj Chopra scripts history by becoming first Indian to win silver medal at World Athletics Championships. Grabbed second position in men's javelin throw final with career best throw of 88.13 meters this morning. Draupadi Murmu to take oath as 15th President of India in Central Hall of Parliament tomorrow. Outgoing President Ramnath Kovind to address the nation this evening. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh honours families of security personnel who lost their lives in line of duty since 1947. Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurates and lays foundation stone of several development projects worth 210 crore rupees in Gandhinagar. WHO declares monkeypox as global health emergency amid rising cases. Delhi reports first case of monkeypox. Patient with no travel history is the country's 4th case. Income Tax Day being observed today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman appreciates Income Tax Department for implementing various reforms. And in cricket, India to square off against West Indies in second ODI at Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain this evening. And with that, we end the Midday News.